Good morning, everyone. We're here today with our online Zoom Qigong class. Good morning, Keith, Lisa, George. Let's start from the warm-up with Keith.
All right, good morning. As we get started this morning, I'd just like to remind us that there are three sources of qi that we have: the air that we breathe, the water we drink, and the food that we eat. And the air that we breathe is the most renewable source that we have. I'd like to start with an exercise that will allow us to purge the lungs, to get rid of all the stagnant gas or qi in the lungs, so we can refresh that stagnant qi with fresh qi. This is called a purging and gathering exercise. Very simple, from the horse riding stance. Knees are bent, pelvis is up, head as if suspended from above by a string. Inhaling through the nose, we're going to bring the hands up, turn the palms up, and as we exhale, push all that stagnant qi out of your lungs. Emptying from the bottom up, tuck your bum, keeping the head up, sink the weight to the feet, let go of any tension in the shoulders, arms, wrists, hands, and fingers. Again, as we inhale we're going to inhale through the nose. And as we exhale through the mouth, push that stagnant qi out. From the bottom up, clear the lungs, collapsing those tiny little air pockets in the lungs. We want to completely empty the lungs. Inhale through the nose. We're going to come up. And by the way, this is the only time we completely fill and empty anything. Again, exhale through the mouth. We want to completely empty the lungs. Push all that stagnant qi, gas, that air out. And now we're going to gather. We're going to replenish what we've just purged. Inhale through the nose. The arms come up. Exhaling through the mouth. Bend the knees, tuck the bum, leading the mind down through the crown. Feeling as we go. Lead the mind down through the neck, the chest, and down to the dantian. Again, inhale through the nose. We're going to fill the lungs. Really expand and fill them. Now, as we exhale through the mouth, bend the knees, tuck the bum, and we're going to sink that qi down through the body, down into the lower dantian. One more time. Inhale through the nose. We're gathering. And now we're going to bring that qi down. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the bum. And we want to sink that qi down into the lower dantian. All right. Next, we'll move on with the trunk stretch. Separating the feet, bend the knees, tuck the bum, place the fingers over the head. Inhaling through the nose, we'll take a nice deep breath. And as we exhale through the mouth, place the elbow on the knee. Over, side, inhale through the nose, up. And back very slowly, one vertebra at a time. Back up, and exhale through the mouth. Over, side, inhale through the nose. I'm going to fill the lungs for that support as we go back, one vertebra at a time, and back up, and exhale down, over, side, inhale through the nose, come up, and back up. We're going to change directions now. Exhale down, over, side, inhale up, and back. Exhale down, over, side, inhale up, and back. And as we exhale, bend the knees, tuck the bum, keeping the head up, relaxed from the top down. Allow the weight to sink to the feet and the legs. Let any tension drip out the fingertips and go out through the feet. We'll bring the feet together, doing our loosening up set. And a few rotations of the knee in one direction. As we circle the knee outward, we generate centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. As we circle the knee in, we're generating centrifugal force, keeping the head up as if suspended from above. We're utilizing that center line. And we'll switch feet. Again, a few rotations in one direction. Give free play to the waist. Allow the torso to turn as a result of straightening and bending the knee and circling the other knee. If we give free play to the waist, the center line will spin effortlessly. Now we're going to go a few rotations in the other direction. Again, give free play to your waist. Next, we'll go down to the knees. Palms on the knees, and a few rotations in one direction. And a few rotations in the other direction. Up to the hips, a few rotations in one direction. And a few rotations in the other direction. Moving up to the shoulders, start with the knees bent, inhaling through the nose as the knees straighten, the shoulders circle up, around and back, keeping the head up. Bend your knees, tuck your bum, relax from the top down, rolling the shoulders forward. As we inhale through the nose, we'll straighten the knees, up, around and back. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the bum, keep the head up, drop the weight, let go of the tension. Inhale and exhale. Inhale through the nose. Again, the tip of the tongue is resting above the teeth on the gum line or the roof of the mouth. One more time, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, relaxing from the top down. Change directions with the shoulders. Inhale through the nose, up, around, and forward. Again, keep the head up, bend the knees, tuck the bum, drop the weight, let go of the tension. Inhale and exhale. Bring the feet together. Inhaling through the nose, we're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears as we fully straighten the knees. As we exhale through the mouth, bend the knees and drop the shoulders. And up. And drop them. And up. And drop them. Separate the feet, bend the knees, tuck the bum, arms straight out from the shoulders. We're going to work the wrist joints now. Nice broad rotations of the wrist, stretching those joints, a few rotations in one direction. And a few rotations in the other direction. Now as we exhale, bend the knees, tuck the bum, sink into the root point of your heels. Relax, let go of any tension. Inhaling through the nose, we're going to press off the bubbling well cavities. Expand, rise, and fill. Bring the hands up. Hitting the wall with the front of the fingertips. Bend the knees, tuck the bum, feel the heels go down. Sink into the root point of your heels. Again, inhale through the nose. Press off the bubbling wells and feel a surge of energy, a wave. Move up through the legs to the waist. Exhaling through the mouth. Bend the knees, tuck the bum slightly around the shoulders. Again, we want to sink the weight to the feet and the legs. And into the root point of the heels. One more time, press off the bubbling wells. Feel that chi rise up to the waist. As we exhale through the mouth, bend the knees, tuck the bum. Feel the heels press down, and we're going to sink into the root point of the heels. And now we'll bring the feet together. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, the hands come up. We're going to lace the fingers, look up, good stretch. Exhaling through the mouth, bending the knees and the elbows, turn on your center point, come around 90 degrees to your right. Your left. Inhale through the nose, come back. Good stretch. Exhale through the mouth, bending the knees and elbows and turn. Inhale through the nose, come up. This helps to stretch the fascia, the connective tissue. Exhale through the mouth. Again, try to keep your center line vertical. We're going to benefit much more if we can keep that center line vertical. Good stretch. And again, exhale and turn. Inhale through the nose, come back. Good stretch. Unclasp the fingers, palms face out, keeping the head up. Bend your knees, tuck your bum, relax from the top down. Allow the weight to sink to the legs and the feet. Let any tension drip out the fingertips and go out through the feet. Drawing up from the feet, we'll straighten the knees, inhaling through the nose. Turning the palms up, step out, feet in, knees bent. Exhaling, the knees straighten, the hands go up, we look up, palms face out, keeping the head up. Bend your knees, tuck your bum, relax from the top down. Allow the weight to sink to the feet and the legs. Let any tension drip out the fingertips and go out through the feet. Again, drawing up from the feet, we'll straighten the knees, inhaling through the nose. Bring the hands up. Now we're going to step in. As we exhale through the mouth, bring your mind into your jaws. Feel your jaws. Now relax and loosen your jaws. Bring your mind into your neck. Feel your neck. Now release any tension in the neck. Bring the mind into the shoulders. Feel your shoulders. Now release the shoulders. Bring the mind into the chest. Feel your chest. Now loosen the chest. Bring the mind into the stomach. Feel your stomach. Now release the stomach. Bring the mind into the legs. Feel your legs. Relax your legs. And allow your bones to support your weight. Bring your mind into your feet. Feel the muscles, joints, and tendons in the feet and the toes. And willfully release any tension. Muscles, joints, and tendons in the feet and the toes. And as you do that, allow the weight of the body to press down on the soles of the feet. And the feet flatten in your shoes or the mat. Open the eyes. Okay. What I'd like to do is take a couple of minutes and first review the Taoist cosmological path. The ancient Taoists believed before a thing was a thing, it was first in a state of nothingness, and we call that Wu Qi. They believed that everything arises from nothingness and eventually would return to nothingness. The second moment of manifestation into being, the Chinese believed that the very first moment a thing came into being, it manifests as a singularity. And this is sort of like before the Big Bang, when the universe was just one, no separation, complete unity. And the term they used for that was TaiChi, or the grand ultimate, the big everything. The second moment of manifestation, motion sets in, and as soon as we have movement, yin and yang, or duality, arise. And once duality arises and we have that movement, yin and yang go through 4 phases of reversal. And we call them fullness, emptying, emptiness, and filling. So these are the 4 phases of change. And from that quest for balance or equilibrium, that reversal of duality, the 5 energies are born. And the 5 energies are just 5 very simplistic ways of looking at how qi can manifest in the physical world. Again, these are symbols. Symbols never represent themselves. They are symbolic of characteristics. Fire, it's transformative. It's very active. It's hot. Those are its characteristics. So we're not referring to a flame. Water, it's cooling in its nature. It always seeks the path of least resistance. Earth is nurturing. It's receiving in its nature. Metal, we think we associate it being hard, unyielding. It has a metallic taste. It's an excellent conductor of heat and cold. And wood is flexible, yet it's hard. And wood draws from the earth to sustain itself. In a Tai Chi practice and a Qigong practice, we're most concerned about the relationship between fire and water. So if we understand, if we know what the characteristics of fire are, heat, irritability, I want to say the inability to sit still. These are characteristics of fire: racing thoughts, impatience. Again, these are fire-like characteristics. If we have excess water, we can be depressed, have sloth-like movements. We're cold and clammy to the touch. Again, depression is a expression of excess water, whereas excess fire could be anger or mania. So we want to monitor the balance between these two. And these are the extreme expressions of yin and yang. They're the opposites. We know that Chinese medicine tells us if yin and yang are in balance, no more motion happens. The two become one and we experience Tai Chi. And that translates into well-being or good health. So when fire and water are in balance, which are the extremes of yin and yang, or the 5 elements, when these two are in balance, the body experiences harmony or health. By asking ourselves several times during the course of the day, do we have too much fire? Do we have too much water? Or is everything fine? If we notice that we have fire-like characteristics, what can we do to reduce that? Well, the chart is clear. What reduces fire but water? And what do we mean by that? Well, fire is very active. And if you want to control activity, which is yang, you apply passivity, which is yin. Again, if you want to control yang, apply yin. So if we have too much fire, we want to apply water-like characteristics. If we have too much water, we want to apply earth-like characteristics. Too much water in the body makes us very slow. It can make us very depressed. And again, we can feel cold and clammy to the touch. I can remember more than one friend having popsicle toes. That's just too much water. So what do we mean by earth? Well, earth is nurturing. Earth, if we look at, for example, our diet, earth-like foods are grains, legumes, and lentils, and they can literally absorb excess water in our bodies, and we can pass it out of the body. When we have earth-like thoughts, these thoughts are nurturing. They're giving well-being. Whereas if we have fire-like thoughts, they're quite self-destructive. So if we notice that we have too much fire, we can apply the characteristics of water to reduce the fire. If we discover we have too much water, we can apply the earth-like characteristics to reduce water. So it's actually a pretty simple system. And if we're just mindful and check in 3 or 4 times during the day and ask ourselves, do I have these excess fire characteristics or water? I didn't go over deficiencies because that would just be the opposite, and you can reason that out. So this is something that's really very important if we want to nurture and develop our Qi, and that's what a Qigong practice does. The idea of a Qigong practice is to develop and maintain this vital life force. Qigong literally means energy practice. So if we have an understanding of Qi theory coming from Chinese medicine, we'll be able to accomplish this much more directly. All right, I'd like to turn the class back to Elena.
Yep, I'm here. Thank you, Kid. Yeah, like when we start our classes, our mornings from gentle movements, and also some information starts to come into our mind. Continuing that topic about fire and water reversal or interaction or balance, I would see the simplest one to me, and a really great tool to balance water and fire in the body and in the mind, in our human beings. The simplest way to me is a meditation, and actually the microcosmic orbit. Do you guys remember that one? I wanna share it with you just to remind us once again what's mean that microcosmic orbit and how we can use it in order to balance fire and earth, the body. Hey, what do you guys see on your screens? Do you see the picture of person sitting? Okay. So Yan channel, which is actually a fire channel, the main fire channel, and a movement of the fire, it goes up and exploding. And it's been associated with the back channel, so-called channel in our back along the spine, which goes from dantian up along the spine until the gates in between skull and the first vertebra of the spine, and then it travels further to the face and until the mouth, until the upper lip. And this is the point where we're connecting those two channels, fire and earth and water channel, where we're touching the rooftop, the roof of the mouth with the tip of the tongue. So thus we're connecting those two major channels, fire and water channel. So starting down from the down lip and going along the front side, middle line on the front part of the body, this is water channel, this yin channel, or if you want say feminine channel in the body. So one is going up from lower dantian along the spine on the back up to the point, the occipital point, then travels through the skull down to the face, and then from lower lip down, the water channel starts. And one of the quality of water and the movement of water, it naturally falls, it goes down, it follows a path of least resistance, so it's falling like a waterfall, or the river falls down. So just by simply sitting and doing this exercise, meditation, and doing that microcosmic orbit, willfully and being mindful all the time about this reversal, bringing energy up from the lower dantian along the spine, really feel it, bring it forward onto your face, and then exhale and sink it down through the water channel and return it back to the lower dantian. So just by sitting and maintaining this orbit, following in your mind in these two paths, fire and water path, I found it really cool and simplest way, wherever I am, just closing my eyes and just doing that few times, that motion, that circle, the really simplest and quickest way, as I see it, to balance these two major energies in the body, fire and earth. So don't forget when you're doing it to keep the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, so thus we're really connecting those two channels and help the energy to circulate, right? We're not gonna do it now. We're gonna proceed further with some exercises, but either before class or after class, let yourself 10 or 15 minutes to do the microcosmic orbit. All right, we continue. With frame development exercise. I don't know why I see you, Lisa, on my screen. How can I
don't know.
No?
I'll just unmute
Yeah.
myself.
Okay, cool. Now I see myself. Yeah. Developing the frame, super important to me. It's not only about how my posture is and how my body balance is. We talking here in our classes about energy moving through the major meridians, through the body, through all this muscular and skeletal skeleton system. So we wanted to give that energy really open doors. We wanted to give it open doors. So the main doors is our joints in our body, joints and tendons. So more mobile and movable our joints, and softer but strong at the same time our tendons. This is the best quality of our body where energy can move freely. So we will start from horse riding stance and really checking with all the parts in the body and trying to find the best posture in order to find a best balance. Feet parallel to each other, toes are pointing straight forward, knees are pointed straight forward. Release and relax your toes, but at the same time give yourself a feeling or a sense of grabbing that floor with your toes and with the edges of your feet. Let's move a little bit on the feet. So shift body weight forward onto the balls of your feet and backward onto the heels. Again, to the balls, forward, and to the heels. Few more time. Keep your spine upright, don't bend. Heels and balls, so front part and the back part of your feet. Shifting that way, and then finding center. Reveal in your mind those 3 root points on the feet and find that center one, the center root point. Now roll your feet over side to side, out and in. Engage your knees. It helps us understand that connection from the feet up to the waist, up to the hips and pelvis. So already here we really can feel how through moving those feet in and out, we can feel the muscles around pelvis, around hip joints activated. Nice. Now find your center in between going out and in. And this also applies to knees. Feel that little pushing out sensation. Like you were having a strap and trying to pull it out slightly, not too much. At the same time, having straps around, imagining like having straps around your knees, imagine the ball in between your legs. So keeping the ball and pushing the straps out at the same time, this is probably the feeling where we staying straight enough relaxed, but yet active. The active fundament, the base, the active base, which gives a support to hold the upper body. Right. Sink the weight down to the waist. Imagine like you were wearing a heavy belt, which pulls you down, coxes down. Imagine your coxes pointing straight down, forward, on the line in between. Draw the line in between those two middle root points on your feet. So coccyx, the projection of your coccyx comes right into that line. Keep that active position of your knees. Flatten your spine, lumbar spine. Release and relax belly muscles. Sink your chest inward. Straighten your spine from T12 up to your neck and head. Keep your neck and head erect and straighten. Release and relax shoulders. Let your arms just hang down on the sides of your body or on the front part of your thighs. So where you feel it more comfortable. So just by staying here, observe where tension arises in your body. Where do you feel it? Where it leads you? Where that tension occurs? And why? And maybe not too much asking why, but rather try to release and relax that area. Let that tension go. Maybe inhale and exhale a few times in that area. Imagining like with exhalation, you're releasing, unwinding. Let all the tension go. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the slightly open mouth. Keep the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Just observe your frame. Just observe any possible tension from your toes up to the top of the head. Also, observe any possible tension in your mind. What bothers you right now? Can you be still? Can you be still in your mind? Just standing here, breathing and observing when your inner side, the position of your body. I really like what George mentioned yesterday. So in this position, you're not relaxed and going away in your thoughts, maybe, right? In this position, you're super alert. You're feeling that sphere around you, and you're actually ready to move in any direction. Any direction. Can you imagine all possible ways to move from this position? You can find them through calming your mind in this position. Again, see how body reacts. Is there any tension arises? Is there any pain arises? Is there any uncomfort bothers you? Is there any thoughts? Are they destructive or are they positive? And sense that sphere around you, everywhere, like you were standing on a surface of the clock. So every possible direction, from 12 to 3, from 3 to 6, behind your back, 9, 12 again, and then between them. So each direction. Try to touch it with your attention around you. All right, from here, we're gonna start to bring arms up. Inhale, push off the floor, press off the floor with your feet. Let your arms and hands go up till your shoulder level. And exhale down, like you are painting the wall. Don't disturb your frame, that posture. Inhale through it. Let your arms just float, expand, rise. And as the water sink down. So here we also can imagine it's been a fire movement going up and explode. Widen yourself and then sink, contract, empty, water movement. Everything goes down. Inhale up, push off the floor, press off the floor with your feet and let that energy sink down to your feet when you're lowering your arms and exhaling. Again. From the feet to your hands. Let that wave up and down. Back to your feet. Couple more times. Push off the floor, press. And down from your hands, elbows, shoulders, spine, waist, knees, feet. Now, bring your arms like you were hugging a tree or holding a big bowl. Let's find neutrality in this position and connect your shoulder blades to your spine. This is super important, so you may feel that weight, that extra weight of your upper limbs being attached to your spine, to your central vertical line. Do you feel any difference in between just horse riding stance when we were having arms down and now when we're having our arms around a tree trunk or creating a sphere? Activate those elbows. Don't let them die here. Activate elbows. Sink your shoulders and shoulder blades down on the spine. Inhale, rise and expand. Exhale, sink and contract. Let's just stay here and observe what happened. Again, where tension maybe arises while we're here. Is it arms? Is it shoulders? Did something changed in your posture? I really like keeping there. I really like you maintain that vertical alignment from your head and rib cage and pelvis. So just check in with that. You're not staying with your pelvis forward, and otherwise you're not staying by leaning with your upper body forward. Really find that verticality from the top of the crown down, down, down to the perineum point or to the coccyx. So super important, that vertical alignment, super important. It really helps us to utilize, to let that weight sink down to the feet. and being absorbed with the ground or earth. Now from here, inhale and let your mind follow through the skin, through the tissues, to the bones, right into the bone marrow with inhale. Exhale and let your mind out of the bones, out through the tissue, through the skin, out of the body. Now we're doing a classic Qigong, one of the classic Qigongs, bone marrow washing Qigong. Inhaling to the bones, right into the bone marrow, exhaling out. Inhaling into the bones, exhaling out. Soften those tissues, let the energy pass with no resistance. So it may come through your skin, through those muscles and tissue and fascia and everything right into the bones, into the bone marrow. Exhale and let it come out. Do it a few more times. Inhale into the bone marrows. Exhale out from the bone, through the skin, tissue, out of the body. Couple more times. Inhale. The great benefit of this exercise is to helping to produce blood cells. The blood cells being produced in the bone marrow. So by willfully sending our will and mind and attention and energy into the bone marrow, we can clean it, cleanse it, and fill it with fresh chi energy, thus improving the blood cells production, having stronger bones and stronger immune system. Inhale up, arms and hands down. One more time, up. Press off the floor into your hands and down. Sink it all down, back into the feet, down to the earth. Right. Cover your lower dantian with the hands, lao gu points. Make a few circles around lower abdomen or lower dantian area. Release and relax. So that was the block of, I call it foundation of the frame. And again, this is not only posture, which helps to release excessive tension in the joints and muscles and tissues, but it's also on an energetic view. It is an ability for energy to move without blockage or resistance in our body. And probably the third benefit of this exercise is to calming mind, just being still, standing there and holding the posture, observing those thoughts and anything what may disturb you in that position. It's super good option, as I see it, to look at those things, to look at your mind, to look at your thoughts, to look at like what bothers me actually. Why cannot I just stay here and breathe and observe and be happy? So calming mind and improving posture, and let the energy cleaner paths to move. that was the benefits of this exercise. And Lisa, we still have some time, and hopefully you'll lead us through 5 organs.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm going to incorporate a bit of the Mantak Chia sounds into the movements.
Perfect. I love it. You know, I love sounds.
Okay. So, starting off in Wu Chi, taking a few breaths to find your center. Breathing in through the nose into the lower dantian and out through the mouth. Bending the knees, stepping out with one foot into Tai Chi. And tracing a Chi ball with our fingertips. So the first organ we're going to work with today is the lungs. So for that, we're going to draw the hands up to chest level, just in front of us with the elbows relaxed. Then breathing in, we're going to press the hands out and turning the palms up. Breathing out, we bring the hands back to the starting position. So this is for the lungs. And the sound that goes with the lungs is a, if you want, as you're breathing out, you can make the noise, which will help to expel any excess energy in the lung center. The lungs relate to the element of metal and the season of autumn. They can really store a lot of grief and sadness. As you breath out, you should feel a stimulation along the inside of your arms, which is where the lung meridian runs. In, straightening the legs and pushing out through the fingertips, turning the palms up, bending the knees. Letting your breath guide the movements. We're going to gather fresh chi, bringing it down from the heavens to the center line. And coming into the next movement, which is for the kidneys. You might want to take a bit of a wider horse riding stance here. And then we're going to place our right hand behind roughly where the kidneys is on your lower back. And then bringing up your left hand above you. And you're going to look up at the Laogung point, which is the point in the center of your palm. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bend your left knee, coming down as if you're scooping water, keeping your eyes the whole time on the Laogung point. So breathing out to come down, bending first the left knee, then the right knee, and pressing off the feet to come back up, twisting. Now the kidneys relate to the element of water and the season of winter. And the sound you can make that corresponds with the kidneys is the sound of choo. So if you want, when you're breathing out, you can make the noise choo. Breathing in, coming up, keeping your focus on the Lagun point, and breathing out. Expelling any excess built up emotions that might be stored in the kidneys. The kidneys relate a lot to the emotion of fear. Spending time with the kidneys helps to balance out any emotions of fear you might be experiencing. We're going to do one last one on this side. And coming up and switching your hands over to the other side. So now your left hand is behind your kidneys and your right hand comes up, focusing on the Lagun point, bending the right knee, scooping down the water. Breathing in, coming up, keeping your focus the whole time on the Lagun point. And then if you want, making the sound choo, choo. 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 Breathing in, coming up, letting your legs, bending the knees and straightening, be what guides the movement. So you're really moving from below. And you're going to make one last one on this side. And bringing the hand down and gathering chi. Recentering the body. Then we come on to the organ of the liver. So here we start with our hands by our sides like this. And then we're going to bring the hands one forward and one back, keeping our center line. So we're not coming forward off our shoulders. We're keeping our center nice and stable. So this is for the liver, which relates to the element of wood and the season of spring. And the sounds you can make to correspond with the liver is a shh noise. So just play with, you can let the breath kind of go with what goes naturally, but play with them as you breathe out, making the noise shh. The liver relates to the emotion of anger. So if you're experiencing a lot of anger, this is a really great way of expelling that from the body, so any stagnating chi doesn't store around the liver energy center. You can play with the speed, like whether you prefer to move faster or slower. Through this twisting motion, we stimulate the area of the liver. And bringing it back down, gathering chi, bringing it down through our center line, through our upper, middle, lower dantian. And then we come into the next organ, which is the heart and the pericardium. So for this, we're going to start as if we have a bowl in front of our lower dantian. Again, our knees have a bit of bend. We have a tuck in the pelvis, and the head is up as if suspended from a string. Then we're going to push through our right knee, keeping a bend in the left knee, turning 90 degrees to our left side. Then bending the right knee, pushing off the left foot, come back to center. So it's as if you're pushing, and then we come to the other side. So it's as if you're pushing a ball and then turning the upper hand turns kind of out and up. So you feel stretched down this inner kind of outer line of the arm, which is where the heart meridian runs. So breathing in, twisting 90 degrees, and coming back to center, and going to the other side. So the heart relates to the element of fire and the season of summer. And the corresponding sound for the heart is the sound like a ha. So if you want, as you're turning, you can play with releasing. And this will further help to expel any excess fire from the heart. Again, initiating the turning through bending and straightening the legs, so the twisting comes from below. And making sure when you turn that the little pinky of the upper hand is turning up to the sky, creating that nice stretch down the heart meridian. Taking one more to each side. And gathering chi, bringing down heavenly energy through the upper, middle, and lower dantian. And we're going to bring the feet in a bit closer together, so about shoulder width apart. And we come into the final organ, which is the spleen, which relates to the element of earth and all seasons. So for this, we're going to make a diamond that we bring up above our head. You can bend the knees, bend the knees, tuck the pelvis a little bit, and have a bit slight bend in the elbows. Then we're going to look up through this diamond, and then pushing off the right foot, we're going to twist 90 degrees to our left, and bending the left foot, pushing off the right foot, coming back to center, right left foot, then bending the left foot, I'm confusing it, but twisting to the other side. We're bending the left knee, pushing off the right foot, coming back to center, and pushing off the right foot, turning 90 degrees. So we're going to keep twisting, and then the noise relating to the spleen is the sound hu. So hu, woo, so sort of a woo sound. Woo. Keeping your focus through your triangle. And moving from below through bending and straightening the legs. If it gets too much on your neck, you can bring your neck up. And we're going to do one more on each side. And gently bringing the hands down. And to close, we're going to circle, focusing as we're bringing the hands down to really bring any fire or heat down from the head, through the heart, through the middle dantian, into the lower dantian, and out through the feet into the earth. So this action can help to balance the triple burner. If you want, you can make the sound and a she, so she. Focus on bringing any excess heat that's up around your head, fire, and pushing that down through the body, into the lower dantian, and out through the feet. And one last time. And covering your lower dantian. Making a few circles in a clockwise direction. And that concludes the 5-organ Qigong. So I pass it back to Elena for any final words or exercises. Oh, I can't hear you, Elena. You're muted.
Yeah. I muted myself because of all the noise around. I said it's really much more powerful with the sounds. It's like, yeah, exactly. Takes all, all the attention and intention to create those sounds, pronounce them, and follow the breath and movements. And yeah, thank you, Lisa. It was really nice connection. Yeah, and the triple burner was there also.
Yeah, I took that from the Mantak Chi at the end where he has I realized that it's that movement of bringing it down. I was like, well, that's what we're doing anyway. So
yeah. And this is the great way how to, again, returning back to fire and water. That's actually simple movement. The fire goes up and the water goes down, calming everything.
I was talking about doing that when you can't sleep as well, like really bringing the fire down from the head, which is often when we get the racing thoughts into firelight, and then bringing it back down to the kind of sexual organs, dantian, and then letting excess go out to feet as well.
Yeah. So want to calm yourself down, chill and be cool. Just do this simple movement. We all seen it, people doing it, like, but we interpret different ways, but simply just cool yourself down and be still. All right, thank you guys for participating and giving and giving a little bit piece of your presentation. George, looking forward to continue with 5 animals very soon.